What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pitching Ninja's Filthiest Pitches of the Day. Remember, before we get to those pitches, hit that subscribe button. Be a part of the biggest and best daily baseball show on YouTube. And now, without further ado, here are my Filthiest Pitches of the Day. I'm going to start with Tanner Bybee, who had 6 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 3 runs. He had impressive fastball velo this game, up to 99 miles an hour, and painted with this 97 mile an hour fastball. And he had filthy secondary pitches, getting a sword with this curveball, and then had these nasty changeups, including this front door changeup. Probably my favorite moment from this game was Bybee getting a K. Pablo Lopez, who had 5 Ks in 5 2/3 innings, but gave up 6 earned runs. Lopez did have these wicked breaking balls, including these 6 sweepers, and got a sword on his fastball. Ronel Blanco had 5 Ks in 5 1/3 innings, giving up 2 earned runs. He relied mostly on these nasty sliders, but also had this dirty changeup to poor Shohei. Sure put him in the spin cycle. Blanco faced Reed Detmers, who only had 2 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 4 runs, but did have these pretty curveballs and got a sword on one. Connor Seabold had a solid outing with 5 Ks in 5 1/3 innings, giving up only 1 run on 3 hits. He painted with his fastball, but his filthiest pitch of the game were these changeups. He kept hitters off balance all day on him and got several swords. He faced off against Zach Davies, who had 4 Ks in 5 2/3 innings, giving up 3 earned runs. And Davies had this painted backdoor two-seamer as well as his front door two-seamer. Jesus Luzardo, the Jesus Lizard, had 8 Ks in 5 1/3 innings, gave up 5 runs. He had this painted fastball, these nasty changeups, as well as these sliders. He faced Joe Musgrove, who had a very solid outing, giving up no earned runs in 6 innings and had 3 Ks and only 3 hits. He relied on these elevated fastballs. And I love this sequence where he gets Segura to take this horrible swing on this curveball. Segura looks out to the mound like with this half smile on his face. Musgrove half smiles back, and then throws an elevated fastball perfectly tunneled with that curveball for the K. And you can see in this overlay how mean that was. Max Scherzer had a dominant outing yesterday with 9 strikeouts in 7 innings, giving up only 1 earned run. He had these heaters up to 96 miles an hour, so it looks like Scherzer's velo's back, and had some wicked sliders and this dead zone cutter. Here's an overlay of Scherzer's slider and fastball, and you can see how those 2 pitches switch places on the way to the plate. As a hitter, you think you're swinging at a fastball, but if you get that slider, you are hosed. Scherzer faced Ty Walker, who tied up Alvarez with this two-seamer. Walker had 2 Ks in 4 innings, giving up 3 runs. Hunter Greene continued his string of pitching really well. He dominated with his fastballs, painting with his 99 mile an hour fastball, and even hitting 99 on his 106th pitch of the game. But he also had a bunch of wicked sliders, including this one where he got the sword. And his mix of slider and fastball was deadly. You can see in this overlay why that combination is so hard for hitters. Greene ended up with 8 Ks in 6 innings, giving up only 1 run on 2 hits. His ERA this year is now down to 3.92 after a shaky start. And Greene helped me win my parlay yesterday for back-to-back wins 2 days in a row. Greene battled Chris Sale, who was also really good, with 6 Ks in 3 2/3 innings. Thanks to his overpowering fastballs, he even got a sword on a fastball. And of course had his filthy sliders and got swords on them too. Unfortunately, Sale had to leave the game due to shoulder soreness and is having an MRI on his shoulder. Hopefully it comes out clean. Freddie Peralta had 3 Ks in 6 innings, giving up 3 runs, and had these slow curveballs. And he faced off against yesterday's filthiest starting pitcher, Kevin Gausman. Gausman had 11 Ks in 6 2/3 scoreless innings, giving up only 5 hits. And he was more like Gausman. His fastball was up to 99 miles an hour, actually multiple times. And with that fastball velo, it is unfair for hitters because his best pitch is his splitter. He has a 46% whiff rate on his splitter for the season and had a 60% whiff rate on his splitter for this game. He got a sword against Contreras on this splitter. Not to be outdone, Contreras was a bat splitter, pounding his bat into the ground like Bam Bam. Here's some overlays that show you why Gausman's splitter is so tough to hit. Here's one with his splitter and slider, and you can see how those pitches go in different directions. And then here's an overlay of his splitter and fastball. And you can see as a hitter, those things tunnel really well. You're not sure which pitch is which, and if you swing at a splitter, you're gonna swing over it. Now onto my filthiest relievers. Brooks Raley had this splitter and paintish fastball. Nick Pivetta K'd the side and had this Insta K strut. I love it. Jake Bird had this filthy curveball and cutter. Rafael Montero had this K on a changeup and did this little dance. Hector Neris had this sinker that wasn't a strike, and then everybody lost their mind for a little bit. A Ninja PSA, remember boys and girls, you can't argue balls and strikes. Griffin Jacks had this absolutely filthy back foot sweeper. That's not very fair. Kyle Nelson had this back foot slider. Ryan Presley had this curveball with 3,338 RPMs, a virtual buzzsaw. Justin Lawrence had this amazing 85-mile-an-hour sweeper with 21 inches of break. Look at this thing. It looks like it has air brakes and hits the brakes in the midair. And here's that sweeper overlaid with a two-seamer. It shows you why you'd take that sweeper. You had just taken a two-seamer just off the plate that was called a strike. And this sweeper starts outside that two-seamer and hits the brakes, ends up inside of it. Pure witchcraft. But my filthiest pitcher of the day was Ben Joyce, the volunteer fireman. Look at this amazing sequence against Altuve. He absolutely incinerated him. I know the radar gun says 101 and 102, but because of Joyce's mechanics and arm slot, these look like they're 1,000 miles an hour. My favorite part is after this K, Altuve turns around and looks out to the mound like, what the f*** was that? And Joyce just tips his cap. And that wasn't the end of it. Joyce hit 103 against Alvarez here and K'd him with this elevated 102. It was a foul tip into the glove. And it would have been a strike him out, throw him out double play, but there were already 2 outs. Because y'all have subscribed to my channel, here's Ben Joyce's fastball grip from my interview with him. All you got to do is grip the ball this way, and you'll throw total flames. Your mileage may vary. And also, Joyce talks about how he really gets at it in the weight room.
I mean, I just do a normal 4-seam. I keep my fingers together, my thumb on the very bottom, and honestly just try to rip it as hard as I can every time.
So that'll get me to throw that fast. I got it. Like, I'm going to get on the bump. I have a mound in my basement. I'm going to just get on there and throw, see what it does.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now, are you crazy in the weight room? Are you one of those guys that really goes at it? And who is the strongest dude on the team? Like, are you among them, or or at least on the staff?
Yeah, I think I'm probably up. I take working out really seriously. That's kind of honestly probably my favorite thing to do. Just kind of go in the weight room. But I mean, we've got some pretty strong dudes on the team. Drew Gilbert, he's crazy in the weight room. He's fun to work out with. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the pitchers take it really seriously, which is awesome. We have a good time in there.
And now, my pitching ninja moment of zen. I know I always say pitchers are athletes, but so are center fielders. And if you put them together, holy crap. Check out this athleticism from the Savannah Bananas. What is up, everybody? Just a reminder, today is another Pitching Ninja Profit Boost Day at FanDuel. You get a 30% Pitching Ninja Profit Boost. If you didn't use your Profit Boost yesterday, use it today to boost your profits on any MLB straight bet. My picks of the day are a 3-leg parlay. I'm going to start out with Luis Severino for 5Ks or more, then take Logan Webb for 6Ks or more, top it off with Framber Valdez for 7Ks or more. I've won my parlay the last 2 days. Far be it from me to be greedy, but let's make it 3. What would your picks of the day be?